Okay, we're still waiting on quite a few people, but I guess we can um get started. So if you go down the classroom, scroll down. Um, Scroll down. Okay, and then hit syllabus. Okay, and then scroll down. Just keep going.
All the way down?
Yeah, like till you see it. Okay, right here. Okay, so this, if you have like any tech with you, this is in the email. So this is like the new, I guess, and I'm sorry if you guys can't see. This is like the, oh my God. That is better. It's so short. Okay, so this is the new like home of the class. I just thought it would be easier to have like one kind of home page than like 300 different like docs and stuff. So basically it has the schedule. So what we're gonna do for class today, hopefully we did some of it. And then for next time, I have you reading chapters from this theme that I found, and I'm gonna add some little other things. Does that sound all right with you? Um, and then if you go, I think it's is it at the top? Or I think we have to go back to classroom home. Yeah, classroom home. Can we go back to classroom home?
Sorry.
I can do it if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
So, see, this is
I'm
why I'm
not
scared.
I'm not particularly up at all.
But I don't want to hurt it.
It's on its last. That's unfortunate.
That's why I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna break him.
You got it.
Okay, or her, I don't know. Oh, and okay. So classroom home. Okay. And then
It's all
yeah,
it's
it's
legit.
um so we have the class drive, and um it has it's not particularly organized, but I have uploaded like a ton. So the original Google Doc syllabus is in there, my zine is in there, and any reading I ask you to do will hopefully be in there. So this is so the Ganther thesis is spread out like in different documents for each kind of chapter, right? So I think we're gonna read the Gay Liberation Front chapter, and then I'm not sure, maybe this on the Austin Lesbian and Gay Political Caucus or the Fair Housing Amendments, whatever you guys are interested in. But I picked this because it's one of the only, and it's only kind of semi-published, right? Because it's a master's thesis, it's not like a book, but it's on, it's called Lesbian Gay Civil Rights in Austin, Texas, right? From 1970 to 1982. So it's one of the only kind of texts that like in this academic text in this form that we have that is like specific to Austin. So it's really kind of cool. And um I read parts of it. The first chapter I'd have y'all read is about the fight to get a gay liberation front at UT, which feels very relevant in a way that's like uncomfortable because it was the 70s, and I'm like, guys, like, okay. like we're having these same fights now. And yeah, there's like the rest of the chapters are here. There's also some zine making stuff, right? So I uploaded, and I did bring a printout in case you want to see it, but it's black and white, which is an idea. But it's making art during fascism. So eventually I'll hope that like during these little lectures, you'll start working on your own projects while I talk or whatever, and have like something that you want to create. And I think the making art during fascism zine is really helpful. There's also this little, it's like, well, I think it's like from New Zealand or Australia. So some of the words are um indigenous words that do not, yeah, New Zealand, that are not relevant here. But it is, I mean, I think you guys probably know what a lot of these are, but if there's ever like a question, I don't know, I just feel like it's helpful to have something like that. And there's this crazy website that I found that I will show you. And let me see, is anyone on Zoom? Okay. But it's a kind of informal, it's a website that looks like straight out of, I don't know, like 1995. And it has it's mostly Houston and Dallas queer history, but there is an Austin section. So that's where I found, for example, this kind of the 13th and final edition of Austin Dyke, which was a newsletter, and this was in 1980. I found what is possibly my favorite. There's a claims nest of homosexuals in Texas faculty. This was in 1944. And I'm like, what has changed? What has changed? And also apparently we come in nests, which I know, I'm like, can we make a t-shirt? Like I know we don't like Target anymore, but it also like the gays love those birds too. Like it just go like the little like they made a little Edie bird this time. Like, if you're Grey Gardens fans, I don't know, but yeah, with the kind of very the two women who are like distant relatives of Jackie Kennedy living in a. It is like maybe one of my favorite movies ever.
Want to watch something so exploitative, but it's so weirdly good.
It's interesting too, because then they did a documentary about like the documentary. And
Yeah.
and I don't think it was as exploitative as we might think. Like, oh, they're going like like it is in that we're watching maybe poor, slightly crazy people, and that is inevitable. But like watching the way the like directors talked about them, it was like
Could they treat them during like the interaction?
yeah, it's like clearly like, oh, you guys have like a story to tell, and I love them. Like they're gold. So if you've not seen Great Gardens, have you seen it? Oh,
Some streaming app. I don't know what it is.
it
Yeah.
it might have been, it might be on HBO. It's on something like pretty normal now. It wasn't before, like, but and they definitely have it at We Love Video.
Yeah.
And I think it's under queer, even though it's like it is queer, but it's one of the ones where people are like, debate it. So I'm like, yes, we won. I also have, so this is like from like 2011. It's a queer history of the United States. And there are parts of this that I think are helpful. I got it from the Internet Archive, but it's very freely available to just like download. At the same time, and it starts with like Columbus, so it's not limited to the continental US. It's also not um limited to like the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution being the creation of the nation. It's not limited to like the formation of a nation state. It is limited in many other ways. It stops in kind of the 80s, and I'm like, it like doesn't do a very good job with trans people. And there are 4 mentions of the word Texas in the whole thing, and they're always about the court case. So, in some ways, it doesn't necessarily fit like some of the stuff we're going to be doing in the next couple weeks, but just for like a lot of people were asking for more background information and more national figures. And for that, it's like really, really good. So I keep that in mind, and I highlighted, okay, I have like 2 slides. I highlighted this because I felt like it was helpful. Like he writes, we have been taught in our nation's fairly unimaginative educational system that history is a stable linear narrative with a fixed set of facts, names, dates, political actions, political ideas, laws passed and repealed. In The Dialectic of Sex, a groundbreaking book of radical feminist theory. Have you ever read that, The Dialectic of Sex? I am not I wouldn't say I agree with it at all, but it is like a wild book and something like interesting to wrap your mind about. Shit, Firestone is a character. Um, and she writes that this conventional way of understanding the historical process as a series of snapshots. Here's the American Revolution, here's the Declaration of Independence, here's the Emancipation Proclamation, is limiting and ultimately unhelpful. History, she states, drawing loosely on Marxist theory, is, quote, the world as process, a natural flux of action and reaction, the opposite yet inseparable and impenetrating, whatever. History as movie rather than a snapshot. End quote. And the use of penetration there, I feel like it was not intentional, but also funny. But just this idea that like we're looking at history as something that's like moving and not fixed, which is, and not necessarily Marxist in that there's like an eventual endpoint to history that whatever, but like in that it isn't like big events was helpful. So I think in some ways the author does really try to like do that, but I don't know, 2011 feels like a really long time ago kind of, and it was. And um so I just wanted to mention, yeah, a few things like in here for you guys. You have access to all of these. I'll be adding more, and I got some books from the library to scan, and there's just like a lot of interesting stuff. And the syllabus, the wait, is this? Yes, okay. I think I don't know what is happening there. But I have a link to this history website that I think you guys will really like. And this is something I really want to talk about next week when we talk more about Texas. So we're gonna read a little bit of the Ganther. I was thinking some Ansel Dua, like a little bit, and then talking about this article, which is pretty recent. And it's Not Everyone Can Leave, Survival Advice from Trans Teens in Texas. Um, and yeah, so those are just some bits that I found interesting or helpful. And again, I thought this just would help us organize. So I'll have like this Zoom info here, but then also I'll eventually put the links to the recordings here, just so I don't know if I'm like it's secure. You'll have to click once to get it, but it is more secure. And then I want us to make some community norms. There isn't a lot of community here right now, so perhaps that's something we work on later. Oh my God, here is the syllabus. Duh. Okay, so in the resources, did I add it? know if I added it. I will. The link to these websites that look like they're from, like truly they look like they're from the 90s. Um, wait, it might be this. Is it this? No, that's another radio show. So when Wildenstein ended, lesbian gay voices started. I also linked the Austin Summer Reading Program because I'm going to evangelize this, like get a free mug for reading if you're reading. Um, and okay. So yeah. This is a lot of what we have. So were you guys able to listen to the radio show to look through any of the resources? It's okay if not. Okay, yeah. Cool. That's awesome. I'm so excited. You look through the archive.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So we have someone who did everything. That's more on, like, I didn't know what to expect because I'm like giving homework in a thing that's like an extracurricular activity for grown-ups. So I'm just like, I don't know, like, I can't expect that y'all will have, I don't know if we can see this, but I can also read these out loud and I'll share the slides. Once I delete the weird, this slideshow was, I think, meant for like someone teaching DNA. So, and I just didn't delete the rest of the slides. So that is why I haven't sent it out yet. I need to fix that. But basically with the radio episode, which is what I focused a lot of the questions on, I thought it was um particularly interesting because Wildenstein obviously wanted people with connections to Houston who also had connections to not just Pride, but Stonewall, the events at Stonewall. But I think what the interviewers revealed might not have been what Wildenstein wanted. I don't know what Wildenstein wanted, obviously, but the interviewers had various perspectives, I would say, on on Stonewall itself, on Pride itself. And so I'm wondering if you were able to listen. I'm always late. It's fine. It's like the thing. Yeah, I love you. Did you bike here? Okay. I was like, that's a, yeah, commitment to the,
It can be fun
and
when it's warm out.
that makes sense. Like a sprinkler or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves quick? Sorry.
To be, say he throw down. Anything else on that?
What did we do last year? I made you say stuff. Why you chose to be here and if there's anything specific that you want to learn.
Ooh, nice. I chose to be here because I do like learning about stuff, and pretty much anything queer and trans, and I know you from you being my TA, and so I trust your logic and skills.
I don't know why,
So that's
but
why I'm here.
I appreciate the faith. Yeah, someone has survived a class with me, so if that puts any faith in
I got
this.
so many recommendations. So
Oh my
I'm
God.
ready for more.
You don't have enough, like
Yeah.
I feel like I gave you like a bibliography for a book, like your dissertation. Every time I graded something, I just included like a book list. So if you guys want a book list, like just let me know.
Great.
It's just what I do. Okay. And
Lulu. Them. Um. And I'm here because you invited me. Um. And I think I was like that with this, learning what's out there.
Yeah.
Most of my clear reading these days becomes in the forms of zines and comics. So it'd be nice to also learn about other forms.
yeah, and I would love more zine. I mean, I read a lot of zines, but not as many comics these days. So I would love more recommendations there. Maybe we can all like, I don't know. I love reading. So for today, some of us listened to a radio show that was Wild and Stein. That was a gay radio show in Houston from like the 70s, the 90s or something like that. We listened to the 10-year Pride or Stonewall kind of episode. And then I asked people to like look in the online transgender archive and see if they found anything that interests them or anything Austin related, Texas related, or just whatever related that you're interested in. I was particularly interested in some of the older, like kind of late 19th century, like Austin stuff that, you might not immediately have been clocked as trans because it's like dressed as a woman. Well, okay, like, or like they use weird words. And um, so yeah, there's the archive, and then there's like Wild and Stein was 30 years and it was replaced by another gay radio show. So there's like a vast which is all on the University of Houston archives website. It's like this vast trove. They were almost lost. They were found on cassette tapes in someone's attic. Everything is always found on cassette tapes in someone's attic, I feel. I'm just like, how? Um, so I was just kind of going over the Google Drive and what's in there, but I can talk to you guys more about that later if you're interested. I uploaded a lot of stuff is basically what the gist of that is. Okay, so the radio show. Uh do you want to talk a little bit about your impressions of the radio show since you listened to it? I can also do this, so not to put you on the spot, but I know that you mentioned listening to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like one thing that like interested me about the radio show was how intersectional like the causes were, or the movements were. Um, like between the gay movement in like Chicago, not Chicago, Chicano and
Mhm.
brown and black, like civil rights movements. And there was one guy that was talking about how like he was a black guy and he was saying how do I say it? Like pretty much that it's really important to, or like he liked uh how diverse it was and how it's necessary, how diversity is like for, you know, like I mean like yeah, have women like yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It was definitely um talking about they didn't use the word intersectionality, but it was definitely talking about that. And I thought it was interesting too, because I think there are two black guests, one who was more like light skin and often passes Chicano or even white. And he talked about how like they talked about how his experience was kind of like in the movement was like kind of very why is this not working? Very different from none of my stuff is anyway, was very different from that of um someone who was just passed as black only. And so I think they kind of talked about colorism without necessarily um again saying that word, but it allowed for like coalition building. The first interviewee was interesting also. He um opened a bar in Houston and wasn't necessarily um fond of all the clientele that were at Stonewall, though he was at Stonewall. And so maybe we could just listen to like a tiny bit of it. I know we did before, but I don't know if you can hear this.
We've got in the studio this afternoon Tony Lozada, and he was a person involved in the management of the Stonewall Inn in New York at the time that Christopher Street incident occurred. Tony, the history about Christopher Street is getting awfully romantic. In a short few words, can you tell us about what happened?
That night it's a memorable night because I excuse me, I was working in a bar, which was like a club. It wasn't a regular licensed club. It was a charter. It was a charter club which the state of New York gave to before prohibition.
Yeah.
And of course it was good and you can use it. So the police department, of course, were trying to get into our place.
Yeah.
Break it down because at the time I was working for shady characters.
Mm-hmm.
At the time that they came in, they were trying to get it into really closes because it was a gay club. And of course, we weren't paying. From what I understood, they weren't paying. I don't know.
You weren't paying, and that's a big deal in New York.
Takeoffs. They weren't being payoffs. But it just so happens that they happened to get in. And they had quite a few of undercover agents there, which none of us knew. The only time we knew of the Ray is when the police officers appeared at the door. And they wanted to take management. So thank God I was on the floor that night.
They didn't recognize
And
you.
they didn't recognize me. And I very gaily turned around and spoke to a kid, one of the kids that I knew. He says, just if anything is said, say you're the manager. I paid him off $50. Yeah. He says, don't worry about it, and I'll get you out.
Okay.
So they took the main people, the bartenders and the manager, and then they started getting the customers. Well, you got to figure we had close to 500 people in the bar. It was a big bar.
Big bar.
So they turned around and as they were following us up to the paddy wagon, very simple. If you start running, they can't catch us all. So before you know it, bingo, we were all running from one direction to the other. They turned around, they were going wild, and they tried to get after it. There's a little park that was right across the street from Stonewall, which most gays hanged out there and, and partied there. Well, they drank beer and whatnot. The beer cans started flying toward the police. The rocks were being picked up. They were going all which way. They called for reinforcements. Well, Greenwich Street is like over here in Westheimer in the Montrose.
Uh-huh.
And you gaze up and down, and this news spread like wildfire, all the bars. And bingo, they were leaving the bars and coming to the Stonewall to see what was going on.
That's where the action was.
And that was where the action. Rocks, bottles, things were being thrown. There were some arrests, but thank God I wasn't one of them.
How many people were arrested, do you recall?
I don't recall. I think there was about two loads in the wagons. The wagons held about 36.
Who were these people? Would you say they
regular customers?
Regular customers. I mean, is it the kind of crowd that hangs out at the Baja Sam's, or the kind of crowd that hangs out at Numbers, or the kind of crowd that hangs out at Midnight Sun? Can we equivalent at Dirty Sally's? Why?
No, there's like the Dirty Sally crowd, which I'm managing. You know that is it's a regular working crowd. We have good jobs, executive jobs. I really don't want to pinpoint the characters that come in because they're all come in.
Yeah. Well, what about you can't do that then.
You can't do that because the Texas is a different type atmosphere. Texas here in the gay community are I don't want the
I've heard
the gay community to get mad with me, but they're drinkers.
Yeah.
They're drinkers. They're not
Good
like
man
they used to be.
business.
They drink and they're strictly alcoholics. I don't want to say that.
But what I hear the romantics telling me is that the Stonewall crowd was essentially street people.
Not street people. They were people that had good jobs.
Yeah.
In fact, one of our good customers was Griffin, who was the middleweight champ of the world.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to? How are you going to classify him?
And that blows the myth.
Right.
So you're just talking about just gay people that could be reached that night from just all different kinds of positions. Well, what do you think? Do you think that was, at the time, did you think that was an important thing, or did you think that was a save your ass type thing?
Well, the important thing about Stonewall was that it's a first. Yeah. It's a first for everything. just like it was a first with the riots of the Negroes.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. Of course, recognition of the gay people. One time, the entrapment law in New York, a police officer can proposition you and then arrest you if you made the play.
Yeah.
I mean, that law was changed too because that's how they got the kids. And of course, it costs money for a lawyer and it costs them to get out of jail. And these things are rough. Over here, it's not. It's a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, the times have changed.
Yeah, it's different emphasis.
And of course, a gay person, just because he's gay, doesn't mean that he's going to get whipped.
Well, what do you think? It's been 10 years. Do you think now? Do you think of it as a really important thing?
At the time, to me, let's face it, I was younger and it was a party time.
Yeah.
And it was complete party.
Yeah.
And since I've been in Houston, and as you know, I am an alcoholic. I don't drink, but yet I manage a club.
You're in the bar business.
Right. But the reason why I manage the club here is because that's a business I like.
It's what you know too.
No, I was working for the Sheraton.
Oh.
I took running a restaurant there, so I do know the restaurant business.
Well, what do you think of Houstonians? Do you think the crowd over Dirty Salads is going to, if something happened, the police came in, what do? They just kind of ignore it?
Well, you see, there's something about Dirty Sally's that I don't compare with the other clubs, and I've heard it from the Houston police themselves. I run a clean club. Don't allow any dope. I don't allow any sexual things happening in our place, and I don't allow our drag queens to come in. Which I'm friendly with everyone. It's just that I'm trying to run a legit club where I don't have any problems like I had in New York. I don't want another Stonewall.
Okay, so that's the first interviewee. So this is what I was asking them to reflect on, maybe because the next two are very different, the next two people they interview. But what do you take from that? If you could hear it, I hope you guys could hear.
Holy assimilation.
Yes.
I heard someone that was like afraid to be like seen and trying to assimilate into society. Like trying to live like gay in a way that they're like, this will be fine as long as we don't have drugs and we don't have sex in here. And like, if we follow these like rules that like heteronormative society like puts upon us, then maybe they'll leave us alone, which they don't. But you know, I understand like people I feel like do want to hide behind like assimilation. And he called it out when he said, not everybody that goes to jail gets fucked with in jail, not every gay man. And that's so real. And I wonder how much like he had to be forced to assimilate. Like I wonder how much like gay bashing he experienced in order to get to the point where he felt like he needed to create a club environment in which like that was like what he saw as like acceptable, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know much more than what we have from this interview, but this man was a manager at Stonewall, like during the riot. Like, I don't know if he was arrested, but that he must have seen some stuff.
Yeah, that definitely shaped his opinions too. He said he doesn't have drag performers too, right?
Yeah, he said, but it was interesting the way he phrased it. He said he doesn't let our drag queens in. So I'm like, do they have drag queens outside and then, or like in a different, like, like, how are they your drag queens, but they're not in? He might have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like yeah, it could have been, and obviously that's fucked up, but I also wonder if there was other, like some sort of specific barrier rule. I don't know. This is the club. This is the,
Yeah, seeing like people give the shit beat out of them by the cops would probably make you feel afraid to like swim as a gay person. So I'll give him that. Like,
he like seemed pretty friendly with the cops, and I was like, oh no, but also like, no, and that's the thing too, like maybe he just wanted a, wait, oh, this is interesting.
it's so not fair because he does have absolutely, he has the right to do that. But like, it shouldn't take like all those like hoops, you know, for him to still not be accepted. But that,
Oh, I thought it'd be cooler if you did.
Yeah, exactly, right? Wouldn't it be great if you didn't though? Like, wouldn't that be great?
Why you do it, but if you would.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're like,
I like
Yeah.
Googled some just now.
ooh.
Okay, so there's some stuff. So I immediately was like, this man is Italian American. Why is he in Houston? Well, obviously you live here, but I also live here, but I'm not from here. Um, but the mafia owned the Stonewall and he managed it. So he was um connected to the mafia and the crime family that controlled the majority of gay bars in Greenwich Village was the Genovese crime family. That is my crime family, guys.
I'm immediately sorry. This is significant. Oh.
I was like, well, we were gay, kind of, but I,
My family was at Stonewall too.
yeah, let's not talk about this. Oh my God. Yeah, I think he was Fat Tony.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but he moved to Houston for his second life, and I think that's fascinating
Okay.
as well. Like, um, and like he saw legitimacy. Um, but yeah, the mafia closed the bar very. I need to do some. No, the one in New York. That bar is also closed just because of the rates at which queer bars switch ownership. But Houston does have a kind of better, like, I don't know, track record than we do. I found like Austin, I found like um a timeline. I don't know if it's here. But of Austin gay bars that was published in like 2019 or something in the Chronicle, and like it was like so many that were open for like 5 years and then closed and then open for 5 years and then closed, and like some of the ones that we still have are like some of the longest running, though we have had a gay bar in existence since 1958, which is not nothing, especially in Texas, and especially thinking about the fact that the population was like 200,000 or something at that point. Like sometimes I forget that like Texas really wasn't a big, or Austin wasn't a big city at all for a long time. Okay, do you see this?
Nested homosexuals.
Oh my God,
Yeah, that's right.
Did you see this? Because
Was that the one about the college? The
yeah,
stuff with the nested homosexual. I've read that one. I can't remember where, but yeah, that one's so good.
it's from 1944, and I think we should make t-shirts that say a nest of homosexuals if because it was
Was it the president of UT? I thought it was like the university.
yes, it was AUT, so it feels very
Yeah, from back then.
yeah, he wasn't in the nest, but he didn't prevent the nest. I can pull that article up. So this is Houston LGBT history.org. Do not be fooled by the I don't know, whatever, the graphic design, because this man has collected like everything. It's crazy. And so let's see, there's like an Austin.
I feel like the graphic design is actually reflective of someone that would keep extensive records, honestly.
And it's like in
Like, that looks like so basic, like someone that only cares about archiving.
yes. And also is like
Pictures, I don't know.
an older kind of fellow, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How long did this take him? So some of these are coming from the Austin History Center, right? So he was going to the archives, but we have like all these gay Austin, and he does tell us when it changed names. And we can click on some of these. So if you see something and you're like, please tell me more, let me know. There was two dikes and others, which is just a fun name.
there anything about the tea rooms?
About the tea rooms, there might be in issues, but I think we'd have to like look in the issues and search, which might be something you want to look at. Because there's like, especially like the Texas Mirror, so anything about men had more, not more, and then the um yeah, so the 2000s, like, I don't know, it wasn't just like the straight girls who got the weird magazines in the early 2000s, was it now? Like, look at this shit. I'm like, this is the problematic teen magazines of for gay like, I'm just like in it, like, what? And then vanilla milkshake, and then there was gender bend. Some of these were only in existence for one thing. There's the college thesis, a cruise. I don't know when this was. This had to be the 70s, right? Let's see. I didn't look at this.
That's hot.
Oh my God. Sorry, guys. The crucible.
That other guy, I want sex to exist.
Like, I didn't know I was gonna see a pain on the first screen. I'm sorry. I was just like, okay. But the crucible capital of Texas.
Wow.
Those damp streakers of Austin. Oh my God, there's a map. Do any of these places exist? So Club Austin, the state capital exists. Oh, I think that's
Great
just,
cruising guy.
I think, I mean, possibly, but I think, I am so sorry I'm on your laptop. I hope you have.
You're all good.
I'm like, oh, what am I doing to your algorithm? I also really appreciate the ads, Mr. Peepers Theater. Austin Country. So did we get less gay somehow?
For the people who are there for the articles.
Yeah.
I mean, I am interested, like, in, okay, you'll find the natives friendly, okay, but because of the large proportion of college students, Austin has a more youthful, fun-loving, attractive crowd, oh, in the Lone Star State, with less cowboys and more beautiful people types. You won't find most gays all living in one section. Austin has diverse lifestyles and communities, and gays can be found in affluent West Austin, low rent East Austin, okay, quiet suburban North Austin, or in South Austin, where the many apartments attract students and young marrieds. As in other Texas cities, gays swarm to the nearby recreational areas, but Austin, being a geographic blend, a meeting ground of the coastal Gulf Plains and the rolling hills of the Texas Hill Country, offers a wide variety of these spots. Skinny dipping is popular at the Lower Colorado River Authority Park. At Lake Austin, they gather at Queens Cove to swim and bask in the sun, and at Barkin Springs and Silver Park, one can bathe in the just above freezing waters of the creek or take the sun and cruise. Austin offers much for the tourist. I love that they're like the LBJ library. Okay. I mean, he did love to talk about his penis, so you guys knew that, right? About LBJ?
No.
Oh my God. So
Sarah's dick? What?
yes. So my master's advisor edited most of the Lyndon Johnson tapes, which is like a humongous, like, years. But yeah, like so many of the tape, just random like discussions of his dick, like all the time, like, and sometimes and sometimes other people. He would bring it, apparently he was well endowed and used that and as well as his hulking height to intimidate. So it wasn't just his
I
physical.
was gonna say, like, yeah, because I remember him about his physical stuff too. And I was like, he would talk about having a big dick. He would.
No, I mean it fit, but yeah, it's on all the official presidential recordings that my master's advisor, yeah, my master's advisor like process, and then would just like be like, yeah, he liked to talk about things Like, okay. Yeah. He would tell in the freshman history class too. I'm like, they don't need to know that. I mean, it was South Carolina. I think we really scared them. You have to slowly indoctrinate sometimes. Like those kids. Oh my God. Um, what's another guy? I don't even know. Um, it's just like
Is this archive, ongoing?
it says 1976 to the present. And he also, so what is the, oh, this is, I love the Chronicle. But I'm not sure how much he's collecting right now, and I also don't know because so much of it, like the focus, right, is on Austin. But then you search Austin, and also it will show you where Austin shows up in the Houston papers too, which I think is also really interesting because thank God he has a search engine. No, it's like this, like I wanna no, and he wrote a book, but I think it's out of publication already. Also, is this kitsch to be? Uh, I know. Also, I grew up on Gay Street, and I want to steal the sign really bad, but my mom won't let me. She's like, if you could actually get arrested, and the thing you get arrested for is stealing a fucking street sign. But this is okay, the book. My Gay American Road Trip, a slice of our pre-culture. But I can't find it at UT's library. I might be able to do interlibrary loan, but if anybody comes across this, I don't think it was self-published. I think it was like kind of a little publisher. Also this site launched 2013. There is no reason for this besides he has a doppelganger. Also his dog. He has Spotify playlists. Oh God, I'm just like clicking things now. We will get back to discussing the important things we were talking about, but so anyway, this is like everything. Like also if you want to historic bars, like I bet we could find the bar that the former mafia relative of mine opened in. Oh my God, they even scanned the matchbooks. I love like this man must have a good scanner. Are you here for the class or are you just here for the
Oh.
store?
I don't have to stay.
No, you can totally do it. I just wanted to make sure.
Alright.
No, totally fine. If you hear anything weird, just ignore us. Um, 'cause- but okay. So back to Wildenstein. So yeah, I think he had a really interesting perspective that we can't necessarily say, oh, we know exactly where he's coming from, but there was definitely a like, I like working people with jobs and not drag queens. And but then the next two people he introduced were Charles Law, who was very involved in kind of LGBT rights organizing in Houston, at Black LGBT rights organizing, as well as Larry Bagaric. So the kind of switch there too, I feel like was very like dissonant. Like you have the first guest and then you have that too. I don't know if you found that, but I was like, whoa, this is like very different perspectives, but which I think is good. But I was like, okay. Um, okay, so that was one thing that we listened to. You said you looked at the archive, right? And did you find anything interesting in the archive?
In Austin. And one of the ones that I was really interesting was there was a letter to Hugh Sullivan. You know who Sullivan is? He's a writer and activist kind of known for being one of the prominent gay trans men who first went under like medical transition. And he's from Milwaukee and then lived in San Francisco. So I was really surprised to see it in Austin. It was just like a letter from one of his friends to Lou Sullivan, talking about like really mundane shit. But something that kind of caught my eye was just like in there as he's like talking about how he bought like a wheelchair for the AIDS project and like blah blah blah. And he was like, "Do I live right?" And just kind of goes off about that. And I thought it was really fucked up that he's like talking about how he's buying medical equipment for this, good organization, and so he's questioning if he's, doing the right thing, living the right way.
That
I
is
know
really,
it's on my head, look.
yeah, that's really interesting. What, do you know what paper that was in or what it was published in?
No,
It's totally fine. I was just,
It's like a letter on, like yellow line paper.
oh, yes.
Yeah, to a friend. It was 1986. So.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that archive has like, yeah, I can pull that up too. And then you looked at the Galveston article. What did you think there? I know that was just kind of a news article, but I was really struck by it when I came across it. Just because I don't think of Galveston as a hub of gay rights, although I may be wrong, I'm not from there. But so yeah, that's like, I mean, I don't want to assume, but
It's definitely East Texas.
yeah, I know it's like golf on the golf, so I didn't know if it got like any.
Like Galveston has like a right gay scene, but like anywhere, it's surrounded by like, and especially in that area, it's super, it's very much like surrounded by a lot of conservatism.
Bunch of weirdos though, for sure.
Mhm.
Like weirdo vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's small.
Oh.
Your internet connection is unstable.
Oh,
Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, so thank you for yelling at me. That was my computer, not yours.
Okay, I
FYI.
was about to say.
No, it's just mine. Though that's apparently I think mine is just as almost dead as yours. It's just not physically showing it, to be honest.
Oh, is it low on that?
Oh, I don't even mean that. It is, but I don't mean that. I just mean like end of life. But it's like the innards. It's not like the what's also we could just tape this probably. It'll be fine. Anyway, like packing tape.
Oh.
I will packing tape anything. I need to packing tape my whole phone, actually. There's like a hole in the glass. But you read an article about someone in Galveston. Do you want to share anything you gleaned from that, or do you want me to talk about it? Either way is fine.
I mean, I guess what I would is that this has been around since the 70s. And I did find it interesting that people would write into, you don't know, like Dear Abby? Yeah, people would write into Dear Abby and she would direct them to this doctor in Galveston.
yeah, it has a really big medical school there that like it's like one of the top medical schools.
Yeah.
in the nation. It's wild.
Okay, why did that? This is,
It's
it's it's also where like the biggest like prison hospital is, which I always think is interesting. It's not a great place. What is happening? It's not pulling this up for me. But basically Galveston played, maybe it'll play it. No. Okay, so we can maybe look at. Okay.
So what they call the practice, like gender medicine or gender?
Yeah, it was some gender, hold on, I might have saved it. I'm like, I kind of like, no. I often will convert web pages to PDFs because I've been kind of screwed a lot before with that, but I don't know if that's one
Oh, they called it the gender treatment program.
the gender treatment program. And when did that,
Gender thick. Sorry.
when did it start? Does it mention that? Just because I'm,
So.
wait, I think I did get it.
Got it?
Yes, I converted it. Why is it not? Okay, yeah. Okay. Galveston played historic role in trans medicine. So, and a transgender artist from Houston hopes to honor an internationally recognized pioneer in the field of gender dysphoria and transgender health, who created one of the first gender clinics in the country in Galveston. So that was one of the first in the whole country. So yeah, it was founded in 1972. And the doctor was Dr. Paul Walker, no relation as far as I know to the other Paul Walker. He worked in Galveston for a long time, but moved to San Francisco, I think in the 80s. Oh no. Mine is too, it's fine, but and
I was gonna look at that.
oh, you can do what you need to do. But so it's just interesting that this wasn't just one of the first kind of gender kind of expansive treatment clinics like in Texas, but in the country, and it was in Galveston. And I know they do have good kind of medicine, but that doesn't mean they have like good queer medicine or gender affirming medicine. Right. And this artist is working on a project to kind of emphasize Galveston and this clinic's role. He kind of like, he didn't disappear, but he became like a regular person in San Francisco. Like he wasn't doing this um in San Francisco. But he was, yeah, so I just think this is interesting.
And another thing, between 1972 and 1991, there were about 160 male, female, uh, gender treatments and 50.
That is really interesting. And I think does reinforce the kind of stigma against trans femmes that is still present. But yeah, so Galveston was doing something. I suppose. And no, I was just really like, whoa, like I did not know this. And I'm learning so much about Texas. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And I think I had some other questions. Let me see if I did. I should know if I did, but about that interview. It's definitely worth, it's not too long. It's worth either looking at or looking, I think, at I uploaded the transcript, but all those Wildenstein interviews have a transcript. So, if you're not like a radio person, you can also read. So I have so for next time, so I want to discuss what we're gonna do next time. I think, okay, this is where this one, I was like, what is happening? Where is this one? Okay, so is this the wrong one? No. No, it is the wrong one. Where is? I'm a mess, guys. It will be less messy, I promise. Oh, and this is the Digital Transgender Archive. If you haven't seen it, and if you type in Texas, if you type in Austin, if you type in anything you want, and it also has this like map. So I know some of us were interested in Berlin, and so it might be a way to get into that, at least a little bit, if they have anything international. Let me, is this the right one? Yes. No. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. But okay, the things, so I think for next time, I think it would be cool to talk about, not that. We already talked about that. But one or two, it doesn't matter to me just as much as you kind of want, of the Gainther thesis chapters. I think it's like really the most just thorough. The chapter 2, I believe, is on the gay liberation front in Austin, which was at UT. And then you can pick anything else you like to look at. And obviously this isn't like required. And I'll pick out passages and stuff to look at, but like if you want to do homework, like, and then I'm going to put some specific Ansel Dua. We talked last time about Ansel Dua being one of the people to talk about, and especially when we're talking about Texas. So a few of the short pieces, not like a whole book, just to clarify. Like from This Bridge, probably, which I uploaded the whole This Bridge Called Me Back to the Google Drive if you didn't see that. So that's there. And you can read whatever you want from it. It's all good. And then I wanted to talk about, we talked about doing a screening of a movie, and it doesn't have to be like a documentary or educational, it could be. So some of the things that were brought up were, I think it's the, is it Happy, it's the Leslie documentary. So about the Austin figure Leslie. Um, there's the Marsha P. Johnson documentary done by Tourmaline, who did the recent book called Marsha, which we might read parts of later in the class. I've been reading it, it's really good. There's Mubi, if you are a subscriber, I don't know if you are, they have the Divine documentary. What is is it just I Am Divine, I think? They are. What?
Like John Waters Divine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna be friends. I'm like, I almost wore my Divine shirt today, but it's black, so it gets cat hair all over it. And uh yeah, so those are some documentaries we could do, but we also don't have to do a documentary. Like, we can do a film. Monkeywrench has